let's go to the next one. Let's go to leadership. So it's one to build. Okay, let's say we build a diverse team. We have the team. It's great. I mean, we have all the important
Yes.
parts of you shared already. But it's one thing to build a team, another is to lead it.
Yes, that one is
Uh,
my.
yeah. So what about the leading part? Let's talk about that, because some people they really have the perception of, okay, this is good, let's
Yes.
make it together, perfect. But then leading the team is next level. So tell me more about this.
Yes, this is managing a team like that is like having a Ferrari and not knowing how to drive with a stick. Okay, so you can have a perfect machine, you can really do incredible things, but actually, if you don't know how to use the stick, forget about it. Okay, so you don't know how to use the car, and this is exactly what is happening with these kind of things. You can build a very, very, very good diverse team and not getting what you are expecting out of them because you are not providing the right leadership. And what is the leadership style that I found that is the most useful one? First is situational. Every person is unique, so you cannot use the same leadership style for each one of them. Okay. The second thing is that there are several things that are important. One, clear expectations. This is important for all the teams, not only for diverse teams. When you're leading a team, they need to know what is expected from them, how they're going to be measured in terms of success. Okay. The other is being candid. Okay, and this is very important in diverse teams, and it's something that I always stress a lot, that being candid and direct in what you are telling is very important, because especially when you have diverse teams, you are very likely to have teams from many different nationalities. And the words, they don't have the same weight if you are a English native speaker, or you are a Spanish speaker speaking English, or a person from Bulgaria like you speaking English. Okay, so we have to be very candid in approaches. I have several examples. When I was working in Bombardier, I remember presenting something to the president of the company. The guy was telling to me, interesting. And I was looking to what he was saying, and I was looking to what the body was saying. You are not interested at all. True. Why you are saying to me interested? Okay, anyone will be able to understand that I'm not interested at all. No, I'm Spanish. You are telling me interesting. I understand interesting. Okay, a British, you are telling interesting. I understand. Okay, he's not so interested. Okay, so words, they don't have the same value. And I have another example that I guess that when you are translating also from your own language. Okay, so if I take the example of, in Spain we use many bad words for good things. Okay, so you can say, if there is any Spanish speaker, and say, this guy este tío es un cabronazo. Okay, and I translate to English, I will be something like, oh, what a bastard. I can tell you that the Spanish will be like, okay, almost he's like very fond of this guy. Okay, he will be understanding that there is some kind of irony behind, something like that. Say, okay, he's telling, oh, what a bastard. They are good friends. The British will be like, puzzled that I'm using that kind of word in a meeting. Okay, and the guy from the US most likely is denouncing me to HR, telling that I'm completely inappropriate as a leader. Okay, so in diversity, we have to be candid, but also we need to understand that when someone is telling something, we have to be very clear. And if we don't like what we hear, we ask. We don't judge. We ask. Okay, this is what I mean also by being candid. Another thing that is very important is giving the team freedom to execute. Okay, if you are bringing a lot of individuals and you are expecting them to really deliver what you want, they have to be free. They cannot be in a dictatorship. Okay, this is clear. And the other is sense of humor. Okay, trust me, you need a lot of sense of humor, because you are going to have so many situations that are like, I don't understand what's going on. Okay, because there is so many people, so diverse. Even with the wording, as we said before, I have had many occasions when really someone is telling something, he's mistaking the word, and he's telling something completely different. Okay, and you have very funny situations. But I mean, even one, I remember once that we were having a team, 20 different nationalities, a meeting. And after finishing the meeting, I said, any question? The British raised their hand and said, could you please repeat all of this in English?
Okay.
We have been talking in English for 2 hours. Oh, really? No, but these kind of things that sound silly, they happen. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's critical when we're talking about that. As said, clear expectations, candid with the individuals and with the group. Okay, freedom to execute, and a lot of sense of humor. But also important, leading by values. Okay, we are going to have people very different. So setting rules sometimes is going to work, sometimes it's not going to work. Usually doesn't. Okay, so when you set rules, you are telling them that they have to break them. What is important is to work in values that all of us they have to share. It's important also that when we're bringing unique individuals, they have unique set of values. So don't expect that they have the same values. Not true. Okay, and this can create problems. But there are 3 values that all of them should be sharing. One is openness. Okay, we have to be open to listen, open to new opinions. Okay, we have to be open when we speak. So don't hide yourself. Be authentic. Be open. Trust. If you are not building an environment when there is trust, I'm sorry, but nobody's going to open up. So you're expecting that someone is going to be dissenting from you. Don't expect that I'm going to dissent directly if nobody trusts me, or in an environment where I'm going to be judged, or where basically I feel like if I open my mouth, I'm going to receive a slap in my face. Okay, so you want different opinions that are dissenting. So you have to allow this openness. You have to provide this trust so that everybody knows that they are in an environment when they can trust that what happened in Vegas stay in Vegas. And you have to be respectful. Okay, and by respectful, I also mean candid, because respect means different things in different cultures. Okay, so in general, when you feel that something is hurting you, tell it clearly, explain why, okay, and move. Don't start judging that this guy is not nice with me or whatever. I think that we discussed about an example when I was working in France, in the Center for Nuclear Research. We have people from many different nationalities, and even the coffee was a challenge, right? Wow. Because in the morning, the Spaniards and the Italians will arrive, we make the coffee. Then the French arrive a little bit later. They were pouring down a little bit more water because otherwise it was impossible to drink. Okay. The Americans were arriving later on. They were just getting more water. So I don't know how they can drink that. Okay. And then we have a very interesting situation with a lady that was not using the coffee machine because he preferred to do it in a different way. Okay. Brewing her own coffee with another kind of coffee machine. Every time that she was brewing coffee and pouring out the coffee, another guy from Mali was coming in, picking up her coffee and drinking it.
Wow.
They were mad. They were mad to each other. So she was like, this is a complete lack of respect. This is unacceptable. Of course, we sat down together, and it's when you discover that, yeah, the cultures are different. So the guy was telling to me that he was super respectful because he was waiting for her to brew the coffee to take it. Okay, he was not demanding. I was like, okay, but why you cannot brew your own coffee? Man, I don't do that. I'm a man. It's the woman, the one that has to do it. Okay?
Wow.
No, but when you sit down together, both of them, they understand. They are open people. They understand the point of view of them, and they adapt. Okay? But this is what I mean, that you can do something that is completely offensive from your point of view. Just it's a lack of respect. And the opposite, the other person is saying, I'm super respectful. Okay? Because you have different values. So it's very important being candid. Okay? When you feel that someone is lacking respect, tell. Okay? And be open about that. Okay, so you need to talk to walk the talk.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so if you are a leader and you don't walk the talk, if you are willing the people to dissent, you have to be the first one challenging the status quo. But you have to be also the first one accepting that you are challenged. Okay, so we are all super happy telling, this is wrong, this is you have to change. But as soon as someone is coming to you telling, no, you have to change. Yeah. It's a pill that is not so nice to swallow. So if you want to manage a diverse team, you have to learn that this is a pill you are going to swallow quite often. Okay? So they should be able to come to you and say, no, this is wrong. We have to do in this direction because of this. Okay, so this is important. And work hard also as a manager to be sure that your opinion is the last one in any debate. Okay, because if you have a very diverse team and people very open and a lot of trust or whatever, you are the boss. So as soon as you open your mouth, you're biasing completely the discussion. Let them talk, let them debate. Okay, so you are there just listening. Because if you're not doing that, You are already getting the wrong answer. Okay? So what I always tell to my teams is that the rule that we have is the Spanish consensus. Okay? So we have what we call the Swedish Consensus. Okay? The, let's say, German approach, that is, you do it. And in the middle, you have the Spanish consensus. The Swedish consensus is a consensus that can take several years until they reach a conclusion. This is not something that works usually when you are trying to solve a challenge and you have a limited time. The directive approach is not going to work because you are killing completely diversity. Okay? What we call the Spanish consensus is that basically, guys, you have this time for reaching a consensus. Okay? Discuss, debate, do whatever you want, and finally, when the group has reached a consensus, come with the answer, and I will implement. Okay? If you don't reach the answer after this date, I decide because I'm the boss. Okay? No, because it's important that yes, diversity is bringing many different points of view, many debate, but you cannot have a debate forever. Okay?
No.
So set up these limits clearly to the team, telling guys, debate is important, consensus is important, but this is the time that you need to reach. Otherwise, goodbye. Another important thing with leading a diverse team is avoiding creating minorities in your team. Okay, so you want to have diversity, but you don't want to have anyone feeling isolated. Okay, and I can tell you that this is something that has happened to me several times, that I am the only one that is different in the team. And sometimes you really feel alone and you really feel like you don't belong. And therefore, you close yourself, okay, or you fight, okay? But you are not in harmony with the rest of the team. They will perceive you or is not providing anything because he's not opening the mouth, or this guy, every time that he's opening the mouth, is against whatever we say, okay? So try to avoid that you are creating this minority because this is not good for the team, okay? Yeah. I have always the example of one of the companies I was working for. Half of the managers, they were from Denmark, half of the managers from Germany, and I was the only Spaniard. We were in a meeting, the typical meeting we have, typical outing, right, in building, and we went to the cafeteria. In one side of the cafeteria, all the Danes. In the other side of the cafeteria, all the Germans. And I was speaking with a waiter that was from Colombia. The guy said, no, but really, but this happening in many of them. We have a diverse team. I have people from Denmark, people from Germany, and Spaniard. But you don't have a team, first of all. Okay? No. So that's okay. So, and also when we're talking about being candid, I think that it's important that you are clearly telling to your team, guys, there are things I cannot tell you, but I will never lie. And it's something I tell always to my teams. For instance, when there are restructurings in the company and so on, and they're coming to me, it's going to be a restructuring that I'm not allowed to talk about that. Full stop. I'm not telling you yes or no. I'm telling yes, right? Because I'm not telling no. But you
don't say it.
But I'm not going to lie to you. Telling, no, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. No, yes, something's going to happen.
I can't just tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing that a diverse team they have to avoid is the fight that we have nowadays in the companies for political correctness. Okay, if every time you open your mouth, you are thinking, okay, what is going to happen to me because maybe I'm telling something that is inadequate, you are killing the possibilities of creativity. So you need a department that when you have this discussion is what happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas. Okay, they have to have the trust that they can speak their mind, they can say whatever they want in a safe environment. That their political correctness, again, I said, if someone feels like it's not respectful, yes, excuse me, I don't like that because of that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you didn't like that. But don't fight for implementing political correctness in your team, especially in diverse teams, because as I said, the value of words is not the same depending on where you were born. Okay, so especially for native English, they need to understand that the things that for them they're really, really, really harsh, for me are not. It's like, I mean, this word is just a word. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely, Gregorio. I totally agree with you, and I just want to summarize what for me, based on what you said, and also I was thinking about leading a diverse team. Definitely, the first for me, very, very important point which I get from you, and I definitely believe in myself, is as you said, walking the talk, you shared it. But for me, it was like click immediately when I was even wrote it down when you started talking about it, because it's great that we have these values. It's great that you have these principles. But if you as a leader, you're not following through with them, it's like nothing. It's like nothing, because I've heard so many people who are just saying, but he's not doing it about their boss. How this person expects me to follow through with that things if he's not doing or she's not doing it. And the second one, which really sticks to me, is open mind, because leaders, especially when it comes to diverse team, you need to have really open mind, because if you don't have open mind, you can't lead this team, because you're gonna see so many strange things in the team, especially if they're in different continents and stuff. So if you are not really open-minded, you can't make it. That's the reality. And the third one is definitely this honesty part, to be candid, to really not lie, but you said honest, candid, but at the same time not saying everything. That's a big.
You have to
that's a big one.
People, I will never lie to you. Maybe sometimes I will not tell every data because I cannot, but I will never tell you something that is not true.
Exactly.
So where they stand, and I can tell you that through many restructurings, I have seen that this approach has allowed the team to behave in a completely different way. I remember one situation where we were restructuring a team, because I was so open. I mean, it was like a mystery what was happening in the company and so. In my department, everybody was very clear about what's going to happen, how many people have to leave. Why? Because I was not told that it was something confidential. So I was telling to them what was the result. A very happy thing, because many people really came into my office and said, you know what? I want to study again in university. Yes. Can you please fire me? Because there are some colleagues that they have family and so on. They will not be happy being fired, but I'm completely fine. Fire me. Okay.
Wow.
No, but I can tell you, I got almost a line of people there in the office telling, okay, I know for myself, I volunteer because you are telling that 20 people out of 40, they have to go. Yes. So, I mean, for me, it's less of a problem if you are, okay, I have a team that they understand what it is. They are open. They are clear. They're coming to me. It's the way.